Welcome to another special edition of Daily Airline News. I'm Jeffrey Thomas, and joining me, my co-host Blaine Gibson. Hi, Blaine, how are you?
I'm okay, Jeffrey. How are you?
Very well, very well. So, viewers, we did an episode with Blaine a couple of days ago talking about all the death threats that have been made against him and also answering your questions on debris. And now we have a series of questions off the back of that episode, which we're going to address. And so, starting off, we have Kathy Blake, um, Lima 7 Victor. I'm sorry you guys are being threatened, harassed, or bullied. Your work is important. Otherwise, the families would ask you to stop, and they are most certainly very, very important. A very nice comment from Kathy, and also from DS Rob. I think it's unconscionable that Blaine or anyone should be threatened for simply trying to solve the mystery that has perplexed the world for years. It is very clear through the excellent videos the team has produced there in not 1 ounce of self-interest, exaggeration or embellishment. Everything is delivered in a clear, factual way with very clear hope that the plane is found, no matter where or how or indeed by whom. Really massive congratulations to you guys for this and for your absolute commitment to it. And I just on that point, Blaine, we were talking earlier, we've been overwhelmed by the number of wonderful comments being made about the efforts that you've made in particular and Richard Godfrey. And it's very heartening, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And Kathy and DS Rob, thank you very much. And also others who have had nice things to say, Slurpot and Katie Clark. What you all say warms my heart, and thank you.
Yeah, indeed. So Dixie 3, MH370 question for Jeffrey Thomas, Richard Godfrey, and Blaine Gibson. Has Malaysian Airlines supported Blaine or any other group in their endeavours to find MH370 missing aircraft components? I don't mean financially, but maybe offering an occasional free air miles flight when they took the time to search for missing components of MH370, even then handed in their finds to the professionally to be professionally analysed. Um, I don't think they've not never offered me anything. Blaine, what about you?
No, they haven't. I've done this all on my own. But the only recognition and thanks I needed, I got from the 370 families at one of the anniversaries when they gave me a certificate of appreciation and a vest that I could use in my search for 370. So that's all that really matters. I've funded this all myself. As far as the air miles go, I've used my own air miles or my own money. If I had a ticket, I'd go to Madagascar right now and pick up a few pieces of the plane and bring them back for investigation. But I think it's important that to stay independent, and I've done this all on my own. And thanks to all of you for the support.
Yeah. So Catherine's World Wildlife Wildfire Tracking, best show on playing mysteries right now, hands down. You fellows have our gratitude, support, and our love. The reason you'll get so much hate is your facts threaten the entire rationale and worldview of the paranoid. Another nice comment. Um, Follow on from that, from
Thank you, Catherine.
yeah, another follow-on question. How come there is no more of the personal items and luggage found? I mean, where have those things gone? Thank you for the show. Good stuff. You want to answer that one, Blaine?
Well, for one thing, I already described that I did recover in Madagascar about 50 pieces of possible personal effects on the same beach that contained 370 debris. However, as far as none of those could be definitely linked to the plane. We had some possible matches, a group of us volunteers, but they were never officially investigated and no determination was made. Otherwise, 2,000 miles is a long way to float. And so most personal effects that float, and especially the seat cushions, which Larry Vance often talks about, would be destroyed by the sun, the salt water. They would disintegrate, they would get waterlogged, they would sink. So it would be very hard for any personal effects or seat cushions or items like that to make it from the crash site to the southwestern Indian Ocean. And that's why I wonder if some of the ones that I found might have been inside something else and then were freed. I don't know because it was never investigated. But I did not expect that any personal items would make it that far. And I understand why no seat cushions and life vests have shown up. That would get waterlogged and sink.
Still on the personal effects, Blaine, C. Latone asks, could the personal effects found be tested for DNA and matched to families even after being afloat and after such a long time? Also, is it safe to assume that if there were duty-free items, computers or other valuables washed up, that by the time Blaine found the bags, the contents had been removed by other beachgoers? To Blaine, anyone threatening people trying to find evidence and the truth has something to hide. Stay safe. Nice thought.
Well, thank you, Sealant Tone, for your good wishes. I don't know how long DNA would be preserved or a fingerprint on a bag or something like that. I would imagine if they do find some in the underwater crash site, if they find any human remains, bones, then they could do some DNA tests to identify who they were. But as far as the personal effects that are floating goes, I was not able to tie any of those definitely to the plane, even though some of them looked like they came from there. Interestingly enough, all the bags I found, the zippers had been torn and were empty. So I don't know if that is something that happened at the time of the crash or in the floating. It's possible that some local people went through something that washed ashore. But I put out the word if anyone had found any personal contents in any of these bags, I'd offer a reward for it. And nobody came forward with anything. I do know that one tattered pair of jeans was found with a Malaysian coin in it, but that could not definitely be tied to the plane. So, in answer, we don't know. And I wish that a thorough investigation had been done of the possible personal effects that I handed in.
Yeah. So John Isley, 4578, says, thank you once again, another great episode. Can you confirm whether the Oceanic forecast stated that it was 3 meter waves, swells, or both on the night of the attempted, non-attempted ditching? Keep an open mind that if they were solely swells, they could very well be 100 to 200 meters apart, which would make it a tad easier to try and ditch on a crest. Yes, it would be extremely difficult at night or day, but plausible. This is something that we can never train for on on an even near realistic basis, nor is this mandated. I can actually do this one. Yes, there were 3 meter swells and 3 meter waves. There was a cold front moving through on March the 8th, and we're showing you right now a screenshot of that cold front. That's from a satellite picture taken on March the 8th. So, yes, it was very gnarly weather and making it extremely difficult to do a controlled ditching if that's what it was or attempted or whatever. You concur with that, Blaine?
Yes, Jeffrey, I concur totally. There's no way you could successfully ditch a plane in the southern Indian Ocean. I used to work on an expedition cruise ship that went between South America and Antarctica through the Drake Passage, and we sometimes had to stop simply because the waves were so huge and so rough. You couldn't land a plane on that, and I flew to Antarctica once. With a legendary pilot. And when we were over the Drake Passage, I asked him, well, if we run out of gas and you land on the water, how long could we survive in that cold water? And he said, don't worry, we wouldn't even survive the crash.
Yeah, very, very reassuring. Yes.
Yeah,
Of course, the supposed location of MH370, according to the University of Western Australia's drift modelling, is much further north than the Roaring Forties, but nonetheless, at that particular time, there was a cold front moving through, so no chance of a controlled ditching safely, if that's what it was.
I
ZSR,
agree.
yep, ZSR EP1ME. Hello, gentlemen. Great work from the three of you. Keep up the excellent work. I have three questions. Are there any chance that the black boxes will wash ashore one day in the future? I read that MH370 carrying large numbers of lithium-ion batteries. I know that the ocean washed those away, but is there a possibility of search by their chemical components, like an oil leakage? Connecting the to question two, searching for hydraulic fluids. Best for you, Jeffrey from Hungary. You want to have a crack at that one, Blaine?
Sure, especially about the black boxes, because unfortunately, black boxes sink. And the only way one could wash ashore if it were still attached to something rather large in the rear of the aircraft. However, I think if they did float, one of them or both would have probably washed ashore at Riake Beach, and I would have found it. And in fact, I'll tell you an interesting story. I got a report from some people in southern Madagascar that they had found what they thought might be the black box attached to something else that was big. And I said, oh, well, I've gotten lots of reports like this that turn out to be erroneous, and I don't say anything about them. So I said, well, hey, please send me a picture of it. I'm interested in this. And then they got back to me and said, oh no, it's we looked and it's not the black box, it's orange. So then I said, whoa, dude, please send me a picture. And as it turned out, it was just from a boat containing some medical items and a flare gun. But that stopped my heart for a while. So black boxes sink. There's been some talk about attaching floaters to them that would allow them to float, but that hasn't been done. Lithium batteries sink. The hydraulic fluids, it's really too late. So all I can say is that in terms of the black boxes, no, they're at the bottom of the ocean, hopefully not down a trench, but they can be found. And lithium batteries, miscellaneous electronic components, or anything that may have been mislabeled under those may very well sink. And when the ship discovers the wreckage, the underwater debris field, it will be interesting and revealing to look both at the underwater plane wreckage and also the cargo to see if it's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. So from Sparman 001, Blaine, maybe this has been asked already. I remember one of the locals was interviewed soon after the flaperon was found, and he said they clean the beach every day and didn't know there could be potential items. And they burnt many items, which I think he said may have been seats and clothes. Do you think many items may have been destroyed before the flaperon was found? That's an interesting question.
That is a good question. And I firmly believe that many items, especially aircraft wreckage, were missed and lost before the flaperon was found and after, because no official notice was given to nations in the Southwest Indian Ocean to be on the lookout for 370 debris until the flaperon was found. And
Mm.
then when the flaperon was found, the only countries that conducted official searches for floating debris were France, La Réunion, and Mauritius. And they did not produce any other debris items that could be tied to the plane. However, the Mauritius search did, because in Mauritius, a Coast Guard officer on foot patrol found a piece of Malaysia 370 at Grigri in the south. And to date, that is the only item of 370 debris that was found as a result of an official search. Now, Madagascar wanted to do an official search of the shorelines just after the flaperon was found. They proposed that to Malaysia, to Annex 13, and Malaysia wasn't interested in it or funding it. So, this brilliant idea by Madagascar, long before I even found debris, it was like 2 or 3 months before I found any debris in Madagascar, had proposed this. Unfortunately, it was not done. As far as Johnny Begg goes, I met him after the flaperon was found. I went and met his cleaning crew in order to determine when it washed ashore. It washed ashore as he found it. There had been some reports that it or something like it was seen before, but those did not check out. And as far as the items that may have been burned, he said they didn't burn any or destroy or throw out any items that they thought could be from the plane. And right after the flaperon was found, a lot of people were looking at the beach, and back then they thought everything, any bottle, anything that was found, they thought was part of the plane. So yes, some pieces got away, but I don't think that the cleaning crew destroyed any of them. They were very, very diligent.
Yeah. So James Richard Johnson asks or suggests the MH370 was a Boeing 777-200ER. Issues with structural problems, engine failure, and fuel tank could explode due to electrical or fire. Now, I can answer this. The Boeing 777 has never, ever had structural problems. It's probably the strongest plane Boeing has ever built. So that's simply not, and it's never had any significant engine problems or fuel tank issues. And in fact, it has an extraordinary crash fatality record. Um, there's three incidents involving fatalities, MH370, which is still a mystery, but everybody has dismissed problems with the aeroplane. The British Airways one at Heathrow, that was due to ice contamination in the fuel. And the third one is the Asiana one in San Francisco in 2012, and that was pilot error. So from a point of view of a record, safety record, the aeroplane has been ruled out a long, long, long time ago. And I can promise you it has no structural problems. You would agree with that, Blaine?
Yes, I do. It's an excellent aircraft. It's a safe aircraft. I love flying on them. And frankly, I personally do not believe that disappearance and loss of Malaysia 370 had anything to do with a structural or design problem or even a mechanical problem with the plane.
Yeah.
My personal belief.
Yeah. So, viewers, that's all we've got time for. But we'd like to sort of say, Blaine and I would both like to say a sincere thank you to you all for your tremendous support and wonderful, wonderful comments. They're very heartening and, really spur us on to do better and better with our podcasts and to explore things that need to be explored and push authorities to do the right thing. And so your comments are very heartening and your questions are really great. There's obviously some very keen MH370 watchers out there, and your support for Blaine is deeply appreciated, is it not, Blaine?
It most certainly is. Thank you very much. As I said, it warms my heart and means a lot to me to hear it now because recently, with the search going on again and with me appearing in these videos talking about where the plane is, the hate messages and threats have been escalating. So thank you very much for the support. It means a lot.
Yeah. So we're going to have Blaine back again soon. I've got to work out a schedule, Blaine, uh, and to talk about more about the debris. And as you've already alluded, you've got some more debris coming your way, have you not?
Yes, I do. And I'm getting some low quality pictures of it. But before I put them on the internet or in public, I want to be really sure of not only that I have something from the plane, because I'm quite sure it is, but actually where it is from on the plane. So bear with me and I'll be showing those and we'll be talking about them.
Yeah, and you'll see them first here, hopefully. So
Yes, definitely. Yes.
that'd be fantastic. So viewers, please tune in again tomorrow. Please subscribe to us. Please like us, and please keep those fantastic questions coming. We really do appreciate them. And Blaine, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Well, thank you, Jeffrey, and all